Welcome to Daryl's Little Corner. We'll be with you every Monday from 7 till 8. We're glad you joined us tonight. In the studio with me tonight is Mr. James Page. Now, I know he looks familiar to you because he's a native of Tippah County.
Yeah.
He's from here. In case that you've missed the earlier programs, now James has been on program before, but in case people have not seen the earlier programs, we will welcome you to Daryl's Little Corner, and then we'll ask you some nosy questions.
Well, sure.
That's what we're going to do.
I don't care.
Okay, tell us who your parents are.
My parents are Flora Jean Page and, of course, James Howard Page Sr. Grandparents, James Thomas, everybody called him Jim Page, and Maybelle Page.
What did he do, your grandpa?
My grandfather was a sawmiller.
Was he?
He worked in the sawmill.
Ooh, back
Sure
in the
did.
days when it was work.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's work now, but y'all can't imagine what them old fellers went through.
Yeah,
It was all done by hand.
Yeah, he worked in the sawmill, and I've heard stories of him talking about cutting timber with cross-cut saws and things like that.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
And when they cleared your land, they took these mules in,
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
you call that work?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, bless their hearts. And the hot, didn't matter how hot or cold it was.
No, from sun up to sundown, there wasn't no time clock to punch.
That's the truth.
Sun come up, they went to work, went down, and went home.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And that sawmill, and even now that it's done, a lot of it's automatic. A lot of that.
But
cut
it's
and cut
still
wood,
it's
a
still hard
job.
work.
It's a job.
I've had a few times over the last few years that I've helped a friend of mine. He's got a little logging operation, and he's got knuckle booms and skidders and whatnot. And there's just no part of it that's easy.
No,
No.
it's not. No, it's not. You have children?
I have 3 children.
You have 3.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got Tracy, and she has 2 children, Haley and JC. Then I have
You in the grandpa stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm into grandpa stuff.
Golly.
Then my daughter Shauna. Well, Tracy's married to Scooter. Is actually his name's Troy. They call him Scooter Vandergrift. Really great guy. And Shauna's married to Nathan Harrison. She's got one little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course David married Wendy Morrison, and they've got 2 children. So yeah, I've got 5 grandchildren.
You got 5.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I got bunches, but I got more gray hair than you got.
Well, I do my best.
I'm ahead of you.
I spoil mine just as much as I can, and then I give them back to their moms and
Oh,
dads, and
yeah.
I tell them this is your payback.
Yes, send
I'm
'em
getting
home.
even with you.
Send them home.
Yeah.
Send them home. My son sent me a note one time, and he said, "Mom, I'm sorry for everything I ever did, Mom." he said, "You remember when you said you hoped my kids was mean as me?" Oh, Mom. I didn't say that.
There's nothing
Oh, bless your hearts.
greater than grandchildren.
That's the
They're
truth.
just one. That's I tell people sometimes I see them in the store or something, they have a little baby, and I say, that's what makes all this old stuff worth it.
That's right.
Is them babies right
That's
there.
truth.
Yeah.
That's truth. Do you? Where'd you go to school?
Faulkner. Well, Dad moved around a lot, so I went to Ripley, and I went to Pine Grove, and I went to Faulkner, and I went to school in Illinois for a while. So
Well,
I've had a well-rounded education, I guess you might say, from all the different schools.
well, did you find it difficult when they move you from one to the other?
Well, initially, it would be, you'd have to, kids don't have a hard time making friends, or I didn't. I just, have a new set of friends, and I think it kind of made me more of a well-rounded person later on in years because, when I was 18, I went in the Army and stayed in the Army on active duty for a little over 20 years. And I think that really helped me. It helped me to where I was more open to different ideas and different people and different things. Yeah.
Where'd your kids go to school?
Well, you got to understand, I spent 20 years in the Army.
Yeah,
So,
everywhere.
So my kids went everywhere.
Yes,
Now my two
everywhere.
youngest ones were really fortunate. I retired in time that they could both graduate from Pine Grove. So that was really a good thing. I got the 2 youngest ones to graduate from
was.
Pine Grove. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
My grandson graduated from Pine Grove.
I've got
Sure
some
did.
fond memories of Pine Grove. I remember the 6th grade at Pine Grove. I was going to Pine Grove in 6th grade. Had teacher was named Miss Ora Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
I loved her to death.
You know, it's a crazy thing. I hear everybody fuss and they complain about this and that and that. Tippah County got some wonderful schools.
We do. We've got some great
We really
schools.
do.
And
We
we've got
got
some
good
really,
schools.
we've got some really dedicated teachers, and
We do.
and of course
Okay.
all of our schools have got, you know, the moms and dads. They support the programs the schools got going on. So we're really fortunate to be in Tippah County. We really are.
We are. I've had grandchildren graduate from. Now I have not had one from Blue Mountain, but everywhere else. And I don't have any complaints now. I tell you, these teachers, like I say, they're really dedicated.
They
do
are.
everything they can do to help your child learn what they
do.
have to know.
They really do.
But they don't slide them through.
No.
They push them into learning. And that's, well, if they're going to go to college or go into service, or if you just slide through, you got nothing.
Well, if you,
You know.
if you get everything handed to you, and then you get to where you've actually got to perform, then you're kind of in a trick.
That's right.
Yeah, so
That's right. All of a sudden, you realize, well, I can't
Yeah.
read, or I can't
I'm
add.
not
or-
prepared for this.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, I mean, it's really a problem, you know.
Yeah.
I know I slid through on something when I was young. I taught myself to drive. Don't ever do. Well, I mean, you know, back in them days, that's how you did it. You went out in the woods, or
Yeah.
in my case, the orange groves, and you hope the car don't break down, or you know, if you don't catch it on fire or whatever. And I never learned to parallel park. To this day, I cannot parallel park. And if I pull up where it's just parallel parking, I just keep on going. Because I never learned. Now, isn't that awful? I wish I
guess.
had not slid by on that. But when you slide by when you're young, you pay for it when you get old.
Oh, yeah.
Too late now. Too late now. But I never learned. When I got my license, I went up to the courthouse, I passed the test, got the driver, you know, the learner thing. Then I went back and I took a driver test, but it was no parallel parking on it. We pulled out, we backed out, went around the square, pulled back in. He wrote my license. Now, that was a long time ago, and I've never been dumb enough to let him expire either.
Don't want to have to take that test now, do you?
Oh no. Mm-mm. But I've never learned to parallel
Excuse me.
park. If y'all are all parked there and you say, "Oh, Daryl, come over," nope, not coming. I'm going somewhere you can just drive in, and that's the price you pay for sliding through.
Yeah.
It really is. A lot of times it's been a real problem when, especially not so much here as in other towns.
Yeah.
It's really a problem. But anyway, you went into service. Why did you come back to Tippah County?
Well, I've had a few people ask me that. My family has been in Tippah County since the mid 1800s, and this is home. I was fortunate enough to go in. We used to have a recruiter up on the second floor at the courthouse. And I was 18, and I joined right there. While I was in basic training, my drill sergeant got a real kick because I got a draft notice while I was in basic training that I was going to be drafted. So I guess it all worked out for the good. I went around the world a couple of times. I've went and lived in places that people read about, and I can tell you there's just not a greater country than the United States, and there's just not a greater place to live than Tippah County. And when you go away and you stay gone for 20 years, and then you come back, you really appreciate the little things. You just really do.
You know, to me, there's nowhere beats Tippah County.
No.
Love it here. Love
No.
it here. Was not from here, but it's home now. Been here forever. All right. What are you doing now?
What I'm doing now? Oh,
Yes.
I'm working part-time for Michael Massengill down here at Blue Mountain. I run local runs on Monday. I'm home Monday night, and then I'll take off on Tuesday, and I'll go out, maybe 700 miles, something like that, and get home Thursday. And then I I don't know if it's the right time or place, but I use Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to try to campaign. I intend to be sheriff of Tippah County again.
Okay. Are you driving a semi?
Yes, ma'am. 18-wheeler.
18-wheeler.
Yeah. I can do many
Okay.
things.
I know. I'm interested in that. All right. Tell us about the life of a trucker. Have you ever done long runs?
Yeah, I worked for Michael Massengill back when he was over in Hickory Flat for a little while, and I'd stay out, sometimes a week, 2 weeks at a time. It's a pretty tough life, but you get used to it. These trucks nowadays, they've got sleepers, and you can put microwaves, TVs, refrigerators.
Really?
Oh yeah, you can set them up to where it's just like a little apartment. The only thing about it is it's being out there and being gone.
Yeah.
Recently, Department of Transportation has changed up some of the rules as far as the physicals for truckers, and they made it much harder on truck drivers. You have to get a physical every year, and there's only certain places as far as the medical community goes that actually do DOT physicals. And so it's gotten really, really strict about who they're going to let have CDL license and who they're going to let be out there on that road, which I kind of like in a way, because if you think about it, you got something that's running down through there that weighs between 60 and 80,000 pounds, and if you got somebody that's not real too swift or not in real good health up there driving, then we're in trouble. So
Yeah, if somebody had a heart attack or something
Yeah.
behind that wheel,
Yeah.
it's a bad thing. Yeah, it is. You have to drive long when you go on long trips. They tell me you drive long hours. How do you stay awake?
Well, we have what's called e-logs, electronic logs now. We don't do paper logs down at Big M. A lot of people still do paper logs. You have 10 hours that you can drive. You're given 8 hours on your computer. And after 8 hours, you've got to stop and stay stopped for at least 30 minutes. When you do that, then your computer will reassign you the other 3 hours. You can drive a total of 11 hours. And I don't know, you just listen to the radio. Sometimes I turn the CB on, and I get tickled listening to some of them old boys talk on the CB. Tune into some talk shows on the radio and listen to a lot of that. And I have been known to go 3 or 4 hours and see a rest area and just pull in, get out, and stretch my legs. I mean, that's just, you just got to do that.
I know I used to work nights, and I'd get off in the morning, and that drive home in the morning is dangerous.
Oh yeah.
I thought about these truckers. It's got to be.
That's the reason that now the new DOT regulations, we're forced to take at least a 30-minute break after 8 hours, which is a good thing.
It is. It is. Well, it's something about that sun shining through the glass and the vibrating. That just about rock you to sleep, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why you got that CB and you got that radio, and and why you got the option of pulling over and getting out and stretching your legs. You got to do that.
Well, do you ever get any sightseeing time? You ever go anywhere that you can? Well, you got 30 minutes, I guess.
Well,
I don't say much in 30 minutes.
It's hard to get a big truck in some of those places where you want to sightsee, but I
bet you're right.
I see a lot of things. I get to see a lot of the country, and I enjoy it.
Do you load and unload the trailers?
No. No, you go to where you're going to pick them up, and the folks there that's shipping it, they load it, and then you take it to where you're going to deliver it, and the folks there, they unload it. Now, you do have an option if you're hauling tires. You can take extra pay and unload those tires, do what they call tailgate, which is, bump them off the back of the trailer. I've done that one time, and I decided that I just didn't want to do that no more. That's just a lot of work.
A lot of work. I want to work, but now there is too much.
You get in July and August and get up inside one of those closed-up trailers, and we're talking about some serious heat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I tell you, some serious heat lately just outside.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. I thought about these yard work and stuff. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Dangerous. I can't imagine being cooped up in one of those trailers. Do you? Now, tonight, if there's maybe a young person watching that would like to be a truck driver, that would like to go into, there's no jobs.
Yeah.
Everybody says in Tippah County, no, darling, there's no jobs nowhere. It's hard to find a job anywhere you live now. What advice would you give them to get started?
I would, you know, you have several, and you'll see them advertised in the newspaper and on TV, these truck driving schools.
Uh-huh.
I would, a lot of truck drivers wouldn't agree with me, but I would recommend that a young person start there
Uh-huh.
and get the experience and start out in the classroom, learn about your weight limits and everything else concerned with driving a truck. And I think that would make them be a more well-rounded driver later on. That's what I'd recommend to them. The Army started me out driving tanker trucks in Germany back in long time ago.
Yeah.
And they had a program back then that they put an old guy with you, and you got up in there, and he'd tell you, now, these are the gears in this tanker truck. You see where that tank's going. You can follow that tank. Let's go. And that was pretty much it. So.
Big training, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh man. James, you've become, I tell you, he just does a lot of different things. You have become well known for your love of the elderly.
Yes.
I don't know. Your mother lived to be on in age, didn't she?
Mother lived to be, she was 83 her last birthday. She passed away back in December of last year.
And you took care of her, didn't you?
Well, Mother had went through throat cancer, and Robert and I, and we were taking her to her treatment. She had to go every week for a treatment. When we got through with the treatments, she called me and asked me, she said, can I come live with you? And I said, why you want to come live with me? She said, well, you got a house and nobody. I said, well, I thought you'd want to live with, my sister. No, I can't get along with them like I can with you. And I said, okay, when do you want to move? And she said, today. I said, okay. So, yeah, I took care of Mom. Well, she was she pretty much took care of herself there,
At first.
At first. And then later on I had to start hiring people to stay with her while I worked and things. And, of course, I'm blessed. I've got some good neighbors kind of help look out for her and everything. And I guess I was just blessed to be able to take care of her. I just...
It's a hard choice when you have sick people
Yeah.
on whether to keep them at home or put them in a nursing home, what kind of care you're going to get, what you're going to do. Where are you at on that?
I was really good. I was fortunate that I had a job and I found some people that I could get to help me with my mother. Robert helped me, and then of course my sister helped later on. She'd come over, once a month or whatever. But the other thing that I was really fortunate with was our state representative, Jody Steverson. He helped me get hooked up with the right people to get Medicaid to give us somebody to stay with Mother for 8 hours a day. And they would let me set the hours, so I would have somebody there with her before, because I'd leave early and go to work, usually my brother. And then this lady would stay 8 hours, and then I'd have my brother come in that evening and stay till I got home. A lot of that goes through the Northeast Mississippi Planning and Development District, and I can tell you who to call about that. Miss Dana Harrell, she's really, really great. Her number is 728-6248. Either Dana Harrell or Kathy Wilbanks, and they were the two that come out and done the evaluation and got me started on it. Before that, I had to get in contact with Tracy Clayton. She's out of the Medicaid office down at New Albany. Give you her phone number. It's 534-0441. And those folks were just really, really super about helping me with that. Of course, I went, about a year trying to handle it myself, and then somebody said, why don't you see about getting some help? And so I did. And Jody Steverson, our state representative, he's the one that started me out on all that. And he done a really good job.
When you're taking care of someone, you're so concerned, someone you love.
Yeah.
You're so concerned about them, you forget that you've got to consider your well-being too.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't, you can't take care of them.
No.
You can just, when you're in that position, I know when I brought Tate home from the hospital, that nurse said, you cannot do this. That he has to have 24-hour-a-day care.
Well, that's what Mother had to have.
And right off the top of my head, I said, well, that's what he's going to get.
Yeah.
But that entails more than you think.
What I
Yeah.
had to do is
It becomes difficult.
I had to sit down with my brother and sister about a year before Mother passed away and just tell them, say, look, you guys, I got to have at least one weekend a month.
Yeah.
And I don't care how you guys do it or whatever, but I want one of you to be here on Saturday and stay until Sunday evening or whatever. Just let me just,
Keep your sanity.
Yeah, just-
That's what. To
yeah.
keep your sanity.
And that they were
Yes.
good about that, and that helped a lot. Plus, I was working. That helped a lot. And,
It does. It
And
does.
once again, Medicaid paid for a nursing assistant to come in and stay those 8 hours, which was really super.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Now, I have the little beauty shop, and that I couldn't tell you how much that takes
Yeah.
care of me.
Yeah.
You know, just, people say, why don't you close it? Well, that's why.
Yeah,
It takes care of me.
yeah, yeah.
And
You got to have a break every now and then.
You do, and as much as you want to do this and take care of that person, and of course Tate still takes care of me, but still you have to have that time to let your mind rest. You just have to get a grip on yourself.
Dad, when he got sick, Dad just went really quick. I mean, we had him in the hospital at Ripley, and then we went to Tupelo, and once again, Lord blessed me by letting me be there with him. But Mother, she had congestive heart failure, COPD, and just a whole lot of other health issues, and it was just a long thing, and you keep hoping and hoping that they're going to get better, but in reality, we all get old, and if the Lord blesses us, we'll all get to be there someday. And I know it's just a hard thing to deal with.
It
Anybody
is.
that's going
It
through it, they know what I'm talking about.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
What I do for Tate physically is not
Yeah.
as taxing as emotionally. You pray and you hope.
Oh yeah.
And then you have that fear of what if.
Yeah.
What if? It
I was,
becomes a part of you.
I was fortunate in so much as Mother had a little bit of dementia, not a whole lot, and she pretty much she was, and me and her had some long conversations, and
Made a difference.
oh yeah.
Tell us of this time. Did you have home health care?
Yeah.
They're tremendous help.
Oh yeah. They come and they came and done physical therapy with Mother. As a matter of fact, one of the therapists is Jody Steverson's wife, and
She's fantastic.
she just done a super job with Mother.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Now we had that, and then we have a nurse that comes every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
listens to his lungs, and tells
Yep.
me if he has pneumonia or not. That's
Yep.
worth its weight.
I
in
had
gold.
my nurse was
Yes.
Miss Rollison, and she was just super with Mother. Mother loved her to death.
Did you later have hospice?
No, we didn't get to hospice.
Tell me of the time you spent there. Think back. What is your fondest memory? The one thing that you treasure most
Spent where?
with your mother
Oh God.
while she was sick.
I guess just those conversations, just things about when she was a kid and things like that. My grandparents. I don't know.
I think that would be my fondest memory is when they talk about, I don't know what it is when folks get sick, they want to talk about when they were a kid.
Yeah.
And if they don't pass that on, it's lost for all
Yeah.
the generations.
Yeah.
It's over. Tate talks about his brothers that are, his older brothers that are gone on.
She loved to talk about that. I've got a first cousin, Eddie Luna. He would come every Sunday and he'd sit with us, and she'd love to talk to him about old times, and then I don't know. We just had some great times with her.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. Now that your mother has gone on to heaven,
Yeah.
she's a fine lady, love God. Do you have any tips on how to get through this time? Anything that has helped you since your mother is gone? Because she lived with you.
Yeah. I would say just get closer to your family, to your children, your grandchildren. Stay busy.
Yes.
Keep
Yes,
yourself
stay
busy.
busy. Stay busy.
my children and grandchildren have really helped me a lot. Of course, I've got a large extended family, so I've got cousins, and I mean, I've been very fortunate in that. But if you don't do anything else, just stay busy and get closer to your family.
I'll tell you something else that helped me after my first husband passed away. I moved into another bedroom. I changed things around in the house.
My
I moved
brother,
stuff.
my brother said something to me. He said, "Man," I said, "Well, you know, this is my house, and this is where Mother lived the last 5
It is.
years, and
It is.
and I can't look anywhere in this house and not have something to smile about." You know.
Well, the one thing that helped me the most when I married Tate, I moved out of the house.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd ever leave the house, but I did.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that helped me.
Yeah.
So if you own that house, that's not always
Yeah.
a situation. But if you're renting, sometimes it helps to just move.
Well, I look at it of the happiness that I shared with her, you know, while she lived there with me.
Well, you don't grieve for them. It's
No,
us that miss
no.
them. It's us that miss them.
Yeah.
Hard thing.
Somebody asked me, you know, don't you wish she was back? And I said, Lord, yes, I'd give anything to have her back, but I wouldn't want her back in the shape that she was in.
Don't want to see her suffer more.
When she passed away, I
Suffer
wouldn't
more.
want her suffering.
No.
I couldn't put her through that.
Okay, on another angle, now that we've rung you out to dry, some elderly folks are still staying at home by themselves. Oh, it depends on your physical condition, how dangerous that is. But they're just kind of easy prey, aren't they?
Well, I hate to say this, but we've got a lot of really, well, not a lot, we've got a few sorry people in this world
We do.
that will take advantage of folks just for whatever reasons. Now, I would recommend if you're older and you're living by yourself, that once again you stay in contact with your family. If you don't have children, then you know, nieces and nephews, stay in contact with your local law enforcement. I had a pretty good program going on when I was sheriff. You know, we'd do classes to the elderly about, you know, different scams and things like that are going on, and I had I was very active in patrolling, and I had a big concern about people coming into our county and preying on our elderly. So I was pretty much on top of that.
I figured as former sheriff that you would be
Yeah.
in the know.
Oh yeah.
I know of myself, I know that there's people out there, you don't even have to be old, no.
Oh no.
But I knew an elderly couple that lived out here in the apartments in Ripley. And it was back in the days when everybody had those big ceramic ashtrays.
Yeah.
And a young man broke in his apartment, I mean, like the day after they got their checks, to rob him.
Yeah.
That old man whopped him on top of the head with that ashtray. They didn't have any trouble finding him.
Yeah, it was a good
I'm
thing.
telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Now, sometimes it don't pay to miss these old folks.
No.
But now, sometimes that's not true. One of the ladies in the shop, she got a ticket, and she told me, she said, Daryl, I don't know how come and give me this ticket. She's 90 years old.
Yeah.
She said, I don't know how come and give me this ticket. This is not right. I sent them a check. I said, you what? She said, they called me and told me they needed money for the order of the police, and I sent them a check to help them, and now they write me a ticket.
Lord help her.
I mean, you know, you get these off-the-wall phone calls.
What I would recommend on that is anytime that you get a call and anybody wanting you to give them money or wanting your bank account or wanting any of your personal information, is you ask them, say, look, I got to do something. Can I get your name and phone number, and I'll call you right back. And then you get off the phone with them boogers before you give them anything. And you call 837-9336, that's the sheriff's office, and you talk to whoever answers that phone and tell them what you got going on. And you'll get some help that way, because you know, you want to be sure, first of all, that they're really who they say they are. They're a legitimate organization. And second of all, our sheriff's department needs to be aware if we got people that are calling here trying to scam people out of money.
Well, she did. She was just adamant.
That's that's whether you live in Walnut, Ripley, or wherever. 837-9336, and that'll get you to the sheriff's department.
And I'm getting to be good friends with Carmen. Do you know Carmen?
No,
Yeah, she's from Cardholder Services. She called me about 3 times a day.
don't have a clue.
I don't know who gave out my phone number, but I could choke them. Oh yeah, we won a trip to the Bahamas.
Oh yeah.
I mean, is
you
that
didn't,
not?
You didn't buy into that, did you?
No, I didn't even ask him what I had to send them to get my
Oh,
trip.
Okay.
You know, if it's too good to be true,
It usually is. Yeah. Yeah.
free alarm systems.
Yeah.
Oh, Tate got that call. He said, I have an alarm system. I said, Tate, you don't. He said, I do. It's hanging in there on the wall and it's loaded. That's what he said.
Yeah, you
There's no worry about me. I said,
got
Tate.
some real winners out there.
I mean, but you know, truly, they can call and be so convincing.
Well, you got to
That
understand
they-
that's all they do is they sit there. You know, they got 5 or 6 people to help them get this script together, and that's all they do is they sit there and call. And if
And
they
these-
call 100 people and one of them gives them $500-600, then they've made a good
Oh,
day.
yeah. And, you know, we come from the day and age when you could trust people.
Can't do that no more.
No.
You
No.
you can't have a contract with a person with a shake of a hand anymore. You used to
You know,
could, but you
isn't
can't
that
no more. Yeah.
Is that not awful?
Yeah, it is.
People don't realize their word is their bond.
No.
They just don't realize.
Some don't. I still do.
Well, I tell you, you was raised in Mayberry, USA like I was. Yes. But these young people don't have that privilege.
Yeah.
They're not that. They just don't know. Okay. On another subject, we ran him out to dry today, boy. We're doing it. What, as a former sheriff of Tippah County, that makes you my expert witness.
I don't know about that.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I seen that on TV one time in a movie. They had an expert witness. You're my expert
Well,
witness.
my response to that is when you get to where you think you know everything, then you've got completely stupid. I learn something new every day.
I don't know if I'm making you do it. Okay. On this other subject, what do you think can be done about the drug problem in Tippah County?
God, if I could answer that, I could do anything on this planet. We've got to start trying to get somebody to get to where they can talk to the kids in school. And I know people are tired of hearing that, but we got to start letting these kids know at a younger age the dangers and pitfalls. I mean, I have seen some people and families that crystal methamphetamine, crack cocaine,
What is that?
prescription drugs have just totally destroyed families.
What is that stuff?
Crystal methamphetamine?
Yeah.
It's more or less like
That's not Tylenol, I know.
no, it's made from various chemicals, and people can either snort it, they can smoke it, or they can inject it.
Snort like a pig up your nose.
Like a pig up your
Yeah,
nose.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't nothing going up my nose.
Very addictive. The medical community has told us over and over and over, you know, use it one time and your chances of being addicted are just really great. And same thing with crack cocaine. You can be addicted after exposure, you know, using it one time. And the other thing that's going on a lot now is a lot of the younger people, and I don't know why they've thought this, that you know, they'll get into your medicine cabinets and get your pain medications and whatnot. There's a lot of prescription.
What they do with it?
Well, they snort it, they take it.
What for? They ain't hurting.
Well, it's to get high. It's to get high. As far as the answer to
I ain't never been high, I don't reckon. I just stay
as
down
far as the
here.
answer to the drug
Oh,
problem,
mercy.
it's just you know, we're gonna have people that are gonna be addicted to these different drugs, and I've always felt, and maybe I'm wrong in that, anyone that's addicted, I've looked at them as somebody that has a disease. And you have to do that because, you know, they're doing something that they're really not choosing to do it now. They're addicted now. And my thing has always been the ones that are selling them, the drugs. That's where I've always concentrated the limited resources I had as a sheriff, were on the ones that were selling. Those are the ones that are reaping the benefits of destroying our young people. And
Yeah.
it's like I told one young person one time, a drug dealer looks at you as a commodity. I mean, you're no more to that drug dealer than a piece of tissue that he's blowed his nose on and thrown out the window. You know, all they're looking for is that other dollar. And that's all the drug dealer's after. These people that are, you know, if your children or grandchildren or husband, wife, or whatever are addicted, then they have a disease. You got to look at it that way.
Do you feel that when they legalized alcohol, it increased this problem?
Not really. If you look at the alcohol issue, you go back to Prohibition, back in the 30s. People that are going to drink are going to drink. And if they got to make it or bootleg it or whatever they got to do, they're going to drink. I don't see how legalizing alcohol in Ripley had any effect whatsoever on the drug problem. It's like I said before, you know, we're not isolated anymore in Tippah County. We've got a 4-lane to the south, we've got a 4-lane to the north, and pretty soon we're going to have one right up the middle. We're no longer isolated. You know, we're in the, you know, this is 2014. Sitting around and worrying about whether the guy next door is going to go get him a 6-pack of beer is really not something we need to be concerned ourselves with. We need to be worried about
If he keeps it next door.
Yeah, if he keeps it next door. What we need to be worried about with the limited resources that we have are these individuals that are coming in here with these new drugs, getting them to our kids, getting our kids hooked on this garbage. That's, to me, that's much more important than worrying about somebody getting a 6-pack of beer and going home. I mean, so what? I mean, and some people got mad at me about that, but that's just the way I felt about it. I mean, as a sheriff and any sheriff, me, Carl Gillard, anybody else that's in there, you have a limited amount of resources for that department for a really big county. And you have to concentrate the resources that you have on the big problems, the break-ins, the robberies, the dealers that are dealing drugs to our kids. Worrying about whether or not Joe Bob is going to go get him a case of beer and go home should not even be something I'd be concerned about with all these other things that I've got to worry about. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Do I agree? No.
Well, okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm not for it.
Oh, it's not a matter of being for or against. That wasn't what I was trying to make you understand. Think about the overall thing. You know, we got people selling beer in Union County. We got people selling beer in Tennessee.
It's everywhere.
We got people on the west end. We got people over in Marshall County, Potts Camp. It's
everywhere.
you're not going. You know, they tried to stop it back in the 30s, and look what we ended up with, Al Capone. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people that are going to drink are going to drink, and I guess it's just like people that are going to do drugs are going to do drugs. But the thing about drinking is, yeah, it can be addictive. You can turn into an alcoholic. But the thing about drugs, you can use methamphetamine one time and you're addicted. One time. Can't say that about a beer can. You know, a guy can drink one beer, all right, didn't like it, don't do it no more. That's okay, good. You made a smart decision. Smoke crack cocaine one time, you're addicted. Same, you know, these things are horrific compared to alcohol consumption. They're just terrible. And they make
the side effects to it's horrible.
Oh yeah. Every ingredient in methamphetamine is poison. And if you take somebody that's been doing a lot of meth, you'll think they got a lot of mosquito bites or whatever. And what it is the meth is working itself out of their bodies. Their body can't dispose of it, and they got scabs all over. You know, peeling the scabs off and stuff. It's just horrific. But
you know, people inflict their habits
yeah,
on everybody around them.
Yes, they do.
Now, of course, kids are easily led, and they'll, oh well, come on, try this, try that.
Yeah.
But even as a grown person,
Sometimes,
they try to inflict their habits.
sometimes they'll go to a party, you know, young grown person. They want to fit in with the crowd, so they'll step out behind the pickup and let me have a hit of that, and then there you go. I mean, What's so sad is those that I came in contact with over the years and that were addicted to drugs were usually the really smart people. The smart young
Should be
people.
smart enough not to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
We're talking about
Not get into it.
dental hygienists and things like that. You know, smart people that are. Well, I thought I was smart enough not to. No, the drug doesn't care what your IQ is. I mean, you know, you do it one time, it's got you. That's just the way it is.
Are these people that are drugged up or whatever you'd say, are they dangerous?
Yes, I've had moms and dads come to me about, you know, their children done this and that, and I said, what you got to understand is when that child is under the influence, your child is there inside of that person somewhere, but they're not there right now. You know, they will do anything. They will steal anything. They will steal your car. They'll steal the money out of your bank account. They'll steal your jewelry. They'll steal your medicine out of the cabinet. They're still your child, but they will do just about anything. And sometimes when somebody's jacked up on the right drugs, it's really, really hard to get them under control. A prime example is a dear friend of mine, Dwayne Crenshaw, that was murdered.
Oh, yes.
The guy that murdered him was out there.
Uh-huh.
And those are things that happen.
Oh, yes.
You know, that's, as a police officer, as a law enforcement officer, you've got to be ready for that sort of thing.
You know, that's just mind-boggling, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah.
But when people are drinking or drugging or whatever it is they do to excess, seem like they don't want to stay to themselves and leave you alone. They bother people. Recently, we woke up, we heard a pickup, looked out the window, there was a truck sitting in our backyard. I walked out and I opened my shop and I went in and looked, and I walked out to the carport and there was someone in there with their head lolled over and looked like they were dead to me. I went in and told Tate, and you know, Tate's not physically able. He's mentally alert, but physically he's not able to go out there and take care of it. And he said, well, don't go out there. I said, I think they're dead. You know, I don't think so. We didn't know them. I think they probably thought they were pulling in there hiding out or something.
Well,
but anyway, we called sheriff.
That's what I would have said to you before you ever went out there.
I didn't know there was anybody in the truck.
As soon as you seen something out there, stop right then, lock the door, and call 911 and tell them, hey, I need somebody up here. That's, you know, because you never know what you're going to get.
They came and they got the guy, and you know, and they searched the truck and towed it. Towed it. I don't know. It may not have been nothing. I don't know, but what were they doing there? That
goes back to the elderly exposing themselves to things that you know that are dangerous.
That's right.
When somebody comes up in your yard late at night like that,
they're not there to be friends.
They're not there to be your friend. And,
well, they wasn't my friend. I didn't know them.
And you know them if they were your family. So call 911. Let the sheriff's department handle it. Let them deal with them. They're much better equipped at it for it than you are.
That's what we did.
Good.
Judge, our time is up.
Okay.
It is. It is.
Well, I
appreciate you coming.
I was really prepared for some other things, but doggone, you threw me a loop there about a few things. But,
never know.
I hope
You'll have to come back.
I hope that some of the things that I brought out and you asked me about that maybe they'll help somebody out there.
I hope so.
Once again.
And don't go out in the carport and look.
No, don't go out in the carport and look. Call 911.
Yes.
And if you get a scam, don't give them any money. Call your sheriff's office, 837-9336. There'll be somebody there that can tell you what you need to do. And I appreciate Channel 19, and I appreciate you, Daryl.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming.
I love Tippah County.
I do too. We've enjoyed this hour together. Don't forget the Jeter Family Program, Saturday night at 7 o'clock. I do hope you'll tune us in again next Monday at 7 for Daryl's Little Corner. May God bless.